Central Catholic High School in Bloomington has kicked off a major fundraising campaign. It's partly to provide more tuition assistance for families and better pay for teachers. Central Catholic's president is Sean Foster. He tells WGLT student reporter Megan Spurline the Vision campaign has a $10 million goal. It raised over $6 million in the quiet phase of the campaign.
And we really have three main initiatives involved in that. So we want to increase access, we want to inspire excellence, and then when we do both of those, then we believe we have the opportunity to transform the community, both internally with our students at Central Catholic, but also to play a more meaningful role in the ways that we can interact with groups here in the Bloomington Normal community.
How long did it take to raise that $6.1 million?
So we've been working just in developing the initiatives and in engaging people for almost a year this past year in working towards this. And then, now that we're public, that we're really going to try hard over the months to come to close that gap and to achieve that goal.
So what specifically would you say the funding focuses on?
There's a couple different initiatives. When we talk about increased access, we know that the number one reason why families not only do they not choose, but they may not even consider Central Catholic as a high school option for them is because of tuition, the cost, the financial implications of that. So one of the significant areas in here is to reduce that friction, to try to meet those families and basically to close that gap so we can offer more tuition assistance to families in need, right? So we want to tear that barrier down as much as possible. Another initiative that we have in there is investing in our teachers, right? So we know when we look across town in the surrounding areas that our teachers make about 81 to 87% of their public school counterparts. And so it's essential that we have the ability to attract, invest in, and retain the teachers that we have, because that's where really everything happens with the students, right? Is the culture of our school, the relationships that are formed, the education formation that happens is all about the relationship between the teacher and the student.
So then how does the end of the Invest in Kids scholarship program potentially impact this?
Yeah, so that obviously has big significant impact on our school. We had this year about 35 students who received that scholarship, just under $250,000. And that really did help us to increase access over the last several years. So students who desired to come to Central Catholic had that opportunity. And so this is one of the ways that we can ensure that we continue to do that the families that are there, that we can continue to support them, as well as to open that up even further to increase access to more families.
So have you asked at all any state lawmakers to try to reinstate it?
With Invest in Kids, yeah. So we have been active the last several years. I've been down to Springfield a couple times every year with just trying to advocate for those families, those students, and that's something that is still ongoing. So there are still initiatives, although that did sunset, there are still initiatives in play that we're trying to do everything we can to advocate for those families, to provide opportunities for them that otherwise would not exist.
Central Catholic has seen a general drop in enrollment over the last number of years. So where is the enrollment now? What are the trends? Do you have any idea of what the future might look like?
We do. It's a very exciting time to be at Central Catholic. This past year, we welcomed the largest incoming freshman class in over a decade. So we had about 100 students in that. We anticipate, or we expect, that that's going to be the case again. So we already had early enrollment in the fall. And so next year's incoming class will be the same. And the two classes after that should be even larger. So our projections are that we are seeing growth. We're seeing it now, and we're going to see it into the future.
You were talking about retaining teachers. And I know in general, like a issue just with the United States as a whole, there's, lack of teachers. Is that something that you guys have seen and been struggling with?
It's not an issue. That's a great question. It's not an issue that teachers are leaving, but we know we have the opportunity to invest more in them, right? So it's part of it is just paying a just wage in the incredible work that they do, but it's also increasing that. So we just recently had a teacher, Mr. Jim Tabor. He's been at the school for over 40 years and had an impact on so many lives. Our alumni come back and talk about him. We've had other teachers as well, but he being an example. And so when a Mr. Tabor leaves after 40 years and he retires, how do we ensure that we can attract the highest quality teacher to take that foundation that he has established and continue to build upon it. And so that's really what we're doing. It's investing in our future. It's ensuring that we have strength moving forward.
Central Catholic President Sean Foster says the campaign will also fund expanded education programs and a series of facility improvements. That includes renovations to the school entrances and a new artificial turf at Hunman Field. Foster spoke with WGLT student reporter Megan Sperline.